Hello everyone. I want to show you a quick presentation of Nomirun from the top, how it works and what components it has, so you can get a better idea on how you might use it. So imagine a world where you open up your laptop or your computer and you have your favorite IDE. You have your AI agent, you have your NuGet tools, you have your Git tools, you have your debugger. It's basically a standard .NET environment. And in that environment, you are building cloud-ready backend apps in minutes. Not only that, you're only focusing on business logic. Just imagine that, and I definitely did because I wanted this for myself, and I've built it. So Nomirun is a toolkit that helps .NET teams ship backends faster by cutting boilerplate, enforcing standards, and turning delivery into smooth and repeatable process. A lot of words, but let's explore all the components from the ground up. So first we have a Nomirun module. A Nomirun module is a special, let's say, our NuGet package that contains your business logic, and it complements your code style, which means whatever code architecture or patterns are you using, it supports that. You can use DDD, you can use clean architecture, layered architecture, or no architecture, whatever you want, and you basically get the support there because Nomirun module is just a NuGet package. Now, we provide also an SDK that comes with nice implementation patterns. You have journal store, you have interceptors and things like that. But you can also bring your own NuGet packages and reference them in Nomirun module. The whole Nomirun stack runs on .NET 8, 9, or 10. So you can pick between those three. Now, the next component is Nomirun host. Now, you have your Nomirun modules. You need to run them somewhere because remember, Nomirun modules are just NuGet packages. So Nomirun host comes and saves the day, and Nomirun host is a generic host or application that runs one or more of your Nomirun modules. It implements all the application infrastructure you might need for cloud-ready applications. It enables cross-module communication, which means your modules, if your modules need to communicate, it takes care of the infrastructure layer for that communication. Host comes as a standalone apps or containerized app. You can also build your own container image from a standalone Nomirun application. Now let me show you a bit how it looks like traditional versus Nomirun. So traditionally, how you would build a backend application, you would need something like this. You have business logic at the top, and then you have some application infrastructure in the middle. You need to take care of logging, tracing, caching, Swagger dog, throttling, or whatever, right? So there is a lot of different components you probably need to take care of, and also cross-module communication is one of those things. Now, in Nomirun world, this looks like this. The middle part, application infrastructure, is bundled in the Nomirun host, and you still write your business logic. Okay, so we covered modules and hosts. Now let's see what the cluster is. Nomirun cluster is encapsulation, a logical encapsulation or grouping of Nomirun hosts. You can imagine it as a bucket where you would put your Nomirun hosts, right? So this is, let's say, a graphical representation. In the black here, we see Nomirun cluster. And in that cluster, we have 3 Nomirun hosts. So imagine 3 services running in your cluster. And 2 of those are running single module, and 1 Nomirun host in the middle runs 2 modules. So you can see host can be a microservice, or host could be a modular monolith. Now the 4th component in Nomirun is the CLI, and CLI is glue that ties everything together, and it comes with, of course, many useful commands to manage modules, to manage clusters, to manage solutions, to manage libraries, to build scripts or generate scripts, generate documentation, generate, different configurations and things like that. And it runs on Windows, Linux, and Mac. Okay, let's explore our demo solution now, which I want to present to you. So we have a solution, and a solution is basically, it's a .NET solution. So SLN, SLNX file that basically contains the instructions for your .NET project. So in this case, we have 3 Nomirun modules: solar inverters, accounts, and reports. And we have the 4th thing at the end, common library, and that is a library that's shared between those 3 modules. And you can also see in red the communication paths. Let's say reporting module or reports module needs to communicate with accounts module, and it also needs to communicate with solar inverter module. So this just indicates that there is some sort of cross-module communication going on. Now this is a solution. These are the modules. Now how do we deploy our solution? Well, we can deploy it as monolith. In Nomirun, we support modular monolith deployment type, and this might look like this. So you have a Nomirun cluster, and in that cluster, you have a single host solar platform monolith. This is application or executable, and it runs those 3 modules and a common library. And you can see the communication there. It says on the arrows, it's in memory, right? So reports module communicates in memory with accounts and solar inverters. Now, with a simple command, without any code change, we can deploy this solution as microservices. And this might look something like this. We still have a cluster, and in the cluster, we have not only 1 host, but we have 3 hosts. And each of those hosts run its own module. And this time, the communication cannot go in memory because they're in their own processes. So it goes to the gRPC. So Nomirun comes with transport implementation for gRPC. Now, there is also a 3rd option how you want to package and deploy your services, and this is through a hybrid architecture, a hybrid approach where we use both modular monoliths and microservices in the same cluster. And that's because this is at the state we are at when we develop our solutions. We can tweak this and maybe later say, oh, we need to maybe merge these 2 together because they chat a lot, or we want to split them up into different microservices because we want to scale them better. So it's a very flexible way for you to do these deployment types differently. Okay, so I went and built this project, and this is a time lapse of me building it. And basically I created a .NET solution, which is a Nomirun solution, and then in there I created 3 modules and this common library. And it's pretty basic. It doesn't have any database state, but it's mostly a few API endpoints and 2 communication between reports and accounts and reports and solar inverters. To build this, it took me 30 minutes, right? And at the end of 30 minutes, I had a cloud-ready backend apps or app, depending how you deploy it, that can run in, let's say, Kubernetes. You can see in the background also there is a Swagger and a lot of other things included. So that was a quick presentation of Nomirun. I hope it's clear what it is. If not, let me know. Thanks.